Our destination?
Birthday reflections.
Let's go for a ride. Welcome to Girls Trip. It is Joy's birthday week. So we are celebrating Joyous, or Elizabeth.
If you don't get the reference, go back to yesterday's video.
Or Monday we started this.
Monday.
Yes.
Oh, Monday's video, right.
So I feel like this is Joy's going to be one of her favorite days of the week right now.
Just put on your glasses
now. We have all done this for our birthdays during the week, and we have all really felt, I think, that it's just been a great time to help us pause and think about, our last year and even just, our life from a young age all the way up till now. But it is a really great time to reflect and just think about all the wonderful things we got going on. So we're going to start with a couple of questions for Joy. And let's take it away, Laura.
All right. Let's start with this one. Remind us how old you are.
Ooh, I'm out of my barely 30s, and I am officially in my 30s at 32.
32.
Yeah.
But still early 30s.
Early, sure.
Yes. Which you still have hope. I transitioned into, I think, like mid 30s this year, which was a little painful.
But no, if 34.
I think 34 to 36 is your mid 30s.
Yeah, she crossed the threshold, but she's still like in the door frame.
Okay.
Yeah. Maybe we say like 34 and a half.
Okay.
You don't
I like that. There you go. You're still good.
We're not scared of aging. We love it.
We love it. Speaking of, what is the best thing about this age?
Okay. Quick.
Already.
Pause. I just have to say this. First of all, I don't feel like I've accomplished enough in my life to be interviewed. That's number one. But we'll just go with it. You guys had asked me to pick some questions ahead of time, and after I picked which ones, I was so tempted throughout the week to go back and double check the ones that I picked, but I wanted this to be like what comes to mind. Like I do not want to think too hard on it because I can have a tendency to like go too deep down a rabbit hole if I think about something too long. So I'd rather just talk about my immediate thoughts that come to mind. So if any of this doesn't make sense, I apologize in advance.
So Troy's like, I have no idea. I don't have an answer to this question.
Yeah, so the first thing that comes to mind when you say, what's the best thing about this age? I think the best thing is, this might come up in a different question, but the friendships that I've been able to make, or I'll just say relationships in general, there's no kind of feeling of, well, I wonder how long this is going to last for until we're in a different phase of life and it's no longer a thing. Like I know that the friendships and relationships that I have right now are pretty much lifelong and forever. And I think it's a deeper level than high school years or college age years. It's just different. It hits different because we're all kind of doing this together now. We're all settled together. That's probably one of the best things. And another great thing about being 32 is that I'm not 22. And there's a lot of great things about being young and in your 20s, but I had so many fears of the future. My future felt so unknown. I felt like in a lot of ways I didn't have any control over my future in my early 20s. And now, a decade later, with also trusting God and knowing that he ultimately is in charge of my future, not just me. But being able to a decade later say, no, God has given me wisdom to take control in a little bit as much as I want to and as much as I can. So I do feel like I have a lot of control over what happens in my life and where Thomas and I go now, whereas that never existed in my younger years. So I think those are the two top things that come to mind.
Yeah. Those are good answers.
Yeah.
For not trying not to think about it too
You
much.
pass. All right. If you could give one piece of advice to your younger self, what would it be?
Okay. So I confess though, because when Lauren did this question and when you did this question, they both stood out to me. So I have thought about this just in listening to you guys.
Yeah.
And I think I mentioned this on Lauren's birth week too. If I could give one piece of advice to myself, I think we all had a running thread. It would be stop worrying so much about what your future looks like. Stop being anxious. It's not giving anything to your life. It's not adding anything to your life. And I know that might sound cliche a little bit, but if you're in your 20s and you're listening to this, you heard it 3 times at this point. Like,
different ways too.
Different ways, but there is no point in being anxious. If anything, I promise you there are things in life to be joyful about right now. If you are in your younger years, what would we say our younger self? What age are we giving us? 16, 17?
Yeah, I would say like teenage years.
If you're a teenager watching this,
college.
bless you. If you're a teenager still and you're like, what does my future look like? What am I going to do? I would say enjoy every day that you have right now. The things that bring you joy, jump into those things. Don't tiptoe in, jump into them. And understand that the time that you're giving to fears of what the future looks like is not helping you. It's not adding anything to you. And there is a good amount there. I mean, they chose fear for one of the Inside Out characters for a reason, right? Like it's like there's a part of it that is good. It keeps us from being, it keeps us from dying sometimes, and that's really good. But when we, especially in today's world, when we extend that, when we give more to that than it deserves, to let it controlling our decisions and our future, that's too far. Yeah. And I can absolutely say that if I had thank God I didn't, I would say don't be anxious, and also good job, Joy, for not letting those things that you were afraid of stop you from making decisions. Because I easily could have said so many times, I can't do this because I'm too terrified of what that's going to look like in 5, 10, 15 years. And there were some things I didn't do, but for the things that I jumped in and was like, no, this brings me joy. This brings me happiness. I'm going to do it regardless of whatever the future is. I'm so thankful to that person for doing that. So, but yeah.
Well, I love that because that's something we don't do enough is like recognize the good things, celebrate the things that we've done, be grateful to ourselves for what we've taken on. So I think that's just as important. Yeah. But I also think that those common themes, no matter how old you are, like I'm sure when we're 50 and if we're asked this question again and our younger self feels like our 30s, we would say the same thing, just about different circumstances, right? Like I shouldn't have been so anxious or worried about getting our house or starting our family or, those arguments that I was having with my husband or, whatever it may be. Because it's all just comes down to like wasted time and energy. Yeah. Right? Yeah. And the older you get, you're like, wow, life does feel so short. Time's going so fast. And so I think that applies at any age.
Yeah. Well, since it's my birth week, I'll go down pulling that card.
Saying we're taking a turn.
I'll go down a road that I haven't gone before because I think it applies to this question. So my mom recently sent me a funny picture of me when I was 23, I think. So almost 10 years ago. And she sent me this picture of myself and all I could think was, oh my gosh, I look so tiny. Like I look so little. And I remember being 23 years old and thinking, wow, I really am larger than I want to be. And pause on that because I follow this one girl on Instagram, Brie. Why am I forgetting her last name?
Yeah, I can't think.
I'm forgetting her last name. If you want to look that up, Laura, because I highly recommend that. If you don't follow her, you should. I've struggled with my physical limits or my perception of myself my entire life. It has been a huge boulder on my shoulders. And my mom literally sent me this picture 2 days ago. And I remember the specific post that Brie had posted that was, you will always look back on yourself and think, why was I so critical of myself? Because you'll look back and say, oh my God, like, that person was, in your view today, perfect. That person was perfect. So that has been something that's been on my mind for a long 48 hours because I'm like, wow, if I could only see myself at 23 the way I could see myself now at 32, I would say, you got everything you need. Relax. You got everything you need. There's nothing else to attain to right now. You're doing great. I would say that to myself. So when I'm 44, looking back at 32, I don't want to do that again. I don't want to be looking back at my 32 self and being like, why couldn't you just be happy? Why couldn't you just be content? Like, it's so good where you are right now. Like, stop being, again, with the theme, stop being so anxious about something that is just not really completely in your eyes right now, this idealistic version or whatever you want it to be. So yeah, that's just
it always comes back to gratitude, right? It's
like so being thankful. That's right.
But if you can just be thankful, have gratitude for whatever it is, whether it's your physical body, whether it's where you're living, your job situation, like whatever it is, you're going to look back on that and you're going to find something that was great about it. Always that 2020 in retrospect. Right?
Always in retrospect, yeah.
But her name is Bree. Oh, sorry, Bree. Lenehan.
That might be her new
maybe
name
her
because she recently
name.
got married maybe a year ago, 2 years ago.
So if you do want to find her, she's an Aussie on Instagram, but she is Bree with 3 E's, Breee, and then Lenehan, Lenehan.
Great girl. Love you, Bray.
She has chickens that she loves, so
Love it.
and a cute little baby. So fun content there.
Okay. I promise the rest of the questions won't be that long.
I think we're back to me, right?
You're back to you.
Okay. How do you want to feel? Well, and I don't know if you have a different answer for this or if you kind of just covered it, but how do you want to feel at the end of next year and what can you do now to work towards that?
Yeah, I think I kind of answered that already, but what can I do to work towards that?
Yeah.
I think it's daily choices. Yeah. And you know me, I like doing the checklist, right? I like crossing things off the list. I do good in that with the grocery store. I do good with that with, chores. But something I don't do well with that is like my mental space, my head space. I want to be in a really healthy emotional place next year. A lot of transition this year, lots of different things going on. So I would like to, I do feel already the beginning of that. Like I do feel so much more settled now that Thomas and I are we feel like we're in the next phase of life. I do feel so much more settled. I know things will be thrown at us. It's going to happen. Life is never going to be perfect, but I just want to be in a much better emotional place. And that doesn't just happen. You have to make daily choices to do that.
Yeah.
We'll talk about this next week, I believe, but we made, routine upgrades, right? Where we wanted to change up our routine every week to kind of get our life more in balance. And I did okay. I don't know if everyone else can relate to that, but I did okay. I didn't do great. But upon reflection, I was like, I would feel so much better about myself. I would be such in a better place right now if I really did commit to the certain things I wanted to. So yeah, choosing to make the right decisions, make those checklists and commit to doing it.
Love that. All right. What has been most surprising about your 30s so far?
Clearer skin.
All 2 years of that.
Clearer skin, definitely. My patience for my husband has gone up a lot more. I don't know why it was so like he would maybe it was maybe my hormones are just balancing out. I don't know. That's probably what it is. That works with your skin. Yeah. That works with me snapping at my husband. I think my hormones are definitely coming into alignment. I'm feeling like I'm in a groove. Exactly. Which I wasn't expecting at all. I was like, oh no, because you think of 30s, you're like, my life is over. It's done. Okay. I'm no longer in my prime. I think that's what is the most important thing. I actually feel like I'm entering my prime versus this whole idea that I had that once you're out of your 20s, you're shot.
Right.
There was a makeup commercial years ago, and I think it was for Maybelline, and it was a woman, and she was like, "And to all you 20 somethings, here we are." And I was just like, oh God. Almost she's not saying what she's actually saying. Like there is a stigma about being past your 20s and it's actually drawing more negative attention by doing something like that. Yeah. But it's great. It's not scary. Don't be scared. It's great.
It's great.
Love it. No scaries.
Okay. Well, who knew we were just going to flow right into these themes, but what are 3 things you're grateful for this past year?
Oh,
Speaking of,
3 things I'm grateful for. 1, I'm
2. Yeah, exactly. That
1, 2.
Can one of us say that? Because I don't think any of us did that.
it just felt too obvious.
It's
All right,
okay. You're in a list all on your own.
That's like baseline grateful.
Okay.
I'm so grateful to be settled in a home right now. That's ours. We have our name on a deed, and that feels so incredibly adult of us. But it really does feel like we're in where we need to be. So I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for internet. For those who don't know the saga, I won't bore you, but we were without it for a while. And when you both work from home, that's quite upsetting. So we have internet. It's the little things, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm thankful that we're doing some traveling this year. Yeah. Those were 3 things. I feel like internet probably didn't belong there,
but this year it did.
I am. It's very cliche, but I'm extremely thankful for the friendships that I have that are lifelong, as I said, and for an incredibly supportive family and church family. It's I don't know how people survive without it. I don't know. Very thankful for that. If you don't have one, go find one. Yeah.
Go find one down.
You won't regret it.
Yeah. All right. What habit or mindset would you like to let go of this year?
Ooh, let go of? Okay,
Yeah.
so I will get
Throw it in the trash.
I'll get into this next week. I totally underestimated how tough it would be to transition into a morning person. I was like, I can do it, no problem. I am addicted. I have no problem. Hi, my name is Joy. I'm addicted. I am addicted to my phone at night, putting me to sleep. I've lived like this for so long that I don't know how to stop it. And I think it's crucial to my health to figure out how to put myself to sleep, like without that. Like my headphones broke yesterday and I had new ones in the mail by nighttime. No, I'm sorry, at my house by nighttime.
Are you you're listening to something? You're not
Yes.
scrolling.
I'm not scrolling. I'm listening to something that puts me to sleep.
Okay, like
and
a
if
white
I don't
noise
have that,
or books or something.
I have to have white noise on in the middle of the night.
Okay.
But that's not what puts me to sleep. Like I have to be listening to a book or a show that I've watched in the past or something to put me to sleep. And what if I get dropped in a situation where I can't have that?
Do that. You're like, well, we have a situation.
And I think, this is deeper, which I will refuse to get into right now, but I think it's because my own mind, I know. I will immediately start thinking about work. I will immediately start thinking about what I have to do on the to-do list the next day. And my mind refuses to rest.
Yeah.
But if I'm listening to something and I'm focusing on that, I'm so distracted and I eventually drift off, which is fine. I'm not saying but I would prefer to not have to do that, So, yeah.
I think that there are some, and not to say that you can't like work towards that, but I also feel like I have learned that there are some things that just lend themselves more to certain phases or stages of life that you're in.
Yep.
And no matter how much we want something or how much we want to create that new habit or new routine or change our mindset, if the rest of our life is just not in alignment with that, it's just not going to work. Like, we can't force that.
That's
and
so true.
I was you. Like I was where you were, where the types of jobs that I had meant that I was, working until like my eyes started to bleed on my laptop every single night.
Yep.
And then you can't transition your brain that
Straight
fast
to stop
from work mode to sleep.
So
it just
true.
doesn't
And that's my
happen
life. And
like
that's my life.
and that's
right
your
now.
life right now. And so I was the same. I had to listen to something that could distract me and help me turn my thoughts off in order to fall asleep. So, again, I think it's better than scrolling.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But I also felt the same way. Like, I hate that I have this crutch that like I need this to fall asleep. But then I had a big shift in my life and I don't need that anymore.
Yeah, that's
anymore.
encouraging. That's encouraging to know that, because
But I don't think I could have done anything to like intentionally be like, I don't want to do this. It was just like, it took this whole life shift that really I didn't have a choice about. It was sort of thrust upon me to, you know, I have to wake up earlier. I feel like, you know, because my life is now more surrounded by my kids, I have been able to rearrange my work schedule a little bit. So I'm not necessarily working that late at night that I did for a decade plus. And so, there's some things that maybe you're just not like you want it because it's just sort of this like, I don't know, biological thing in you that is gearing you up for that next phase of life. But you're not quite there.
I'm not there yet. Right. And I've tried to do the book, right, instead, but even that, it's something with this. Because even with that, I find myself reading, and by page 2 that I'm on, I'm already thinking about something I should not be thinking about, and I'm not even reading what I'm. So there's something about my brain gets like overwhelmed in a good way if I'm listening to something, and that's what takes everything away. Everything else can fade away. So reading isn't it right now. I would love to be that person that drifts off to sleep reading, but I'm just not there yet. That's okay.
That's okay.
Yeah, that's okay. Just, you know, again, it's good to want those things that are coming, but maybe don't put so much pressure on yourself. Like, why can't I do this?
Get rid of this. It's just a phase in of life, and we'll move through it.
All right. Last question of your big birthday reflections. What is one thing you wish you had more time for? It can't be spending time with us. That's not an acceptable answer.
Oh boy,
because we already know that.
One thing I had more time for. No, this is a good one. I wish I had more time to spend with my nieces and nephews right now. Yeah, with the work and the transition that we've just come out of, I do feel like especially because there was a time in our life where it was like every weekend, sometimes all throughout the week, I'm just with them constantly. That has changed so much. And that's a huge thing to just like let go of. And we live a little bit farther now. I so wish that I had more time to be with them because I love them so much. And I don't get to talk to them as much as I want to. I don't get to see them as much as I want to. We're at a different church now. So all those things together make like holidays and birthdays, which is like not cool. It's not cool. So that's something that I'm going to make a really intentional effort now that we are more settled in this place to find the time. Just find it. Find the space. Yeah.
Yep. I mean, they're also going through big life transitions.
So they're not just like little babies
they're
anymore.
not toddlers anymore.
Yeah,
like,
you know, exactly. That they just don't have lives. Like they all have lives.
Their own social lives and sports.
Within my oldest nephew, within maybe 3 weeks, he grew like 3 inches.
Oh my gosh.
Like he wasn't taller than me when I saw him 3 weeks ago, and then 3 weeks later he was taller than me, and I was like, "Who are you?" And that was so weird and awesome at the same time. But it's like I don't want to miss big things.
Yeah,
I don't want to miss the big changes because they're so special to me.
Yeah, so I get that.
Yeah,
I get that. All right, well. How are you feeling about the rest of the week?
I'm a little sadder than I was, but
We're
in
not
a good way.
On that.
In
No,
a
good
great way. Oh, I love getting deep. So thanks, guys, for doing this. It was a good inhale. Thank you.
There you go.
Good.
There you go.
Thank you, everybody, for being with us on this joyful week. Really appreciate you. Appreciate the likes. Appreciate the subscribers out there. It goes a long way when you choose to do that. I've heard other people on YouTube say this: ring that bell. I don't really know what that means, but ring the bell for ring the bell for notifications. Yes, ring that bell. Ring that bell for notifications. Don't forget, above all else, to enjoy the view wherever your ride takes you.